then nobody's on board with radical hospitality. No, I really mean it. And I've actually had people say, oh, Rosaria, we really like your book, and but did you have to talk so much about men being heads of household and women respecting their husbands, and did you have to talk so much about psalm singing, and did you have to talk so much about how your kids aren't good at sports but they're good at building forts? Yes, I did. I did, because you know what? We are lacking in being honest and forthright about saying there's strength in working from my strengths right where I am. It is a strength of our marriage that Kent has been the head of the household, and that for many, many years, I had many people just staring at me saying, you're not using your gifts. And I would say, what, you don't need a PhD in hermeneutics to, change cat litter? I don't know. I obviously I do. So I would say that if what you are trying to do is be transparent for gospel truth in a world that is fundamentally divided on gender and sexuality, and you're fighting with your husband over whether to do this, this is a good time to stop and pray and work out what might be reasonable. One thing that might really be reasonable is that your heart for hospitality might take you to be a helper in somebody else's home in your church. You might be the bridge, that bridge person necessary to bring people to somebody else's house. So you don't get to choose how you are being called. You don't get to choose the role you play in people's lives. Boy, Kent and I really learned that as foster parents. We would have had 10 children right now if every adoptive foster placement had worked out. But God knew that was not the role that we were to play in everybody's life. So I would say to just really stay with the basics. Stay with the basics. The confusion that this world has about gender and sexuality will not be blessed by wives powering over on their husbands on something that is a godly and good thing. And we live in a world where, I think it's clear in Genesis that God has put, he's put constraints and responsibilities and difference in the callings that men and women have. And you say something like that on a college campus today, and you can get protesters, right? That's shocking. I know. I never get those, so don't ask me. But you could. I've heard this rumor. It's possible. So and it's the basic. It's just the basic order of family. So don't worry about it. Don't fret about it. Don't fight about it, and work out a solution where you can use those hospitality gifts maybe in somebody else's house.